Hour 2 o'clock, and every Thursday at 2 o'clock, we are joined by the deputy leader of the Now Party, the Nation Opportunity Wealth, the Yellow Party, former MP Claudius Boncamper.
Soon to be MP Boncamper again.
Soon to be MP Boncamper again. You see how he said that? That's confidence. That's like he said it because he got his suit ready or ready to be sworn in. You know, my chick will be standing up next to him. You know, I don't think she have to hold a Bible, but she'll be right there. MP, good afternoon to you. How you doing?
Good afternoon, Mike. I'm doing well. I noticed we are back to our old habits of load shedding again. I really thought we had reached to a standard, that we were managing a little bit, but now I just read what's engine 17 and 18, and I know those are big engines.
Big engines.
If those engines have started giving problems, I don't want to assume anything, but I don't like what I'm feeling.
Like I was just telling you yesterday, out of the 24 hours of Wednesday, I had 2.5 hours of power. It's so depressing.
Having bad utility services is a direct road to poverty. And that's going to be our topic today.
Yes.
And I'm going to address it also in that aspect.
Right. Because the stress levels I'm seeing on people, the stress levels on the business community is suffering. Really suffering.
They must suffer because they get nothing back in return.
That's it.
SHTA said 47% of their businesses have lost income. 20% have to throw away merchandise, So we got to be careful, we're going into the hurricane season next week. We're supposed to have a possible formation in the region, of a storm, a cyclone. So, these are not the messages you want to hear when you put on the radio, when you put on TV, when you go on social media. Oh, GB gone here, GB gone there. It doesn't help. No. It doesn't help.
Well, right now we're in another political week on our road to August 19th. And I guess the topic this week is safety and security. Although we ain't gonna cover it when we talk about safety and security, but okay, that's a different story. We in darkness. And the Prime Minister made an announcement yesterday that he's calling off all the customary public meetings that some parties usually have, large gatherings, etc., etc. Any gathering that requires a permit, don't bother ask. In so much words, don't even bother ask. Your opinion on this situation where we are now?
Mike, I am of two thoughts on this matter. Remember, it was only last week, Friday, that we had many parliamentarians on the floor of Parliament stating how dangerous it is and who wasn't threatened to who was threatened and how they were threatened and their families were threatened. Now remember, there are a few things. When you take an oath as a parliamentarian, you take an oath promising country above self.
Right.
I want to say that again. Country above self. So now you're bawling because you can't keep a meeting. So the country is not important. The safety of the country is not important. You are important. That's a narcissistic behavior. That's one thing. But again, with the attitude that you have to have country above self, that would be that we're leading towards governing the country on a path of economic growth and enhancements of the people's personal development. At least that's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
That's not how it is working or was working for the past 4 years. It's too much about me. And I think we got to be careful when it comes to safety. Now, Mike, listen, we have a lot of career politicians that, I don't know, even some second generations we have now in Parliament. And I think sometimes I get the impression, let me put it so, I get the impression that it is not really about the country, it's about them. It is not about really the safety, it's about something else. Look, we have always been safe in politics. There was one incident on French St. Martin many years ago.
I know what you're talking about.
And there was one in Curacao where a parliamentarian lost his life.
Correct.
We have never been threatened other than a loudmouth that didn't get what he want. Oh, I'm going to shoot you.
Yeah.
But nothing particular. We all knew what it meant. It was a figure of speech. But we took it out of context, went to court, and That went its way. Our democratic system that indicates and dictates how the country chooses its leaders also determines how society should interact. If we have free elections, then we should be able to express ourselves freely.
Right.
We should be able to gather freely.
Right.
And that's now something that has now come into limbo with the statement of the Prime Minister that effective immediately he's cancelling all gatherings and no manifestations at the post, at the polling stations either, so that people can vote freely, and he used that word fair. So I start to look at it a little different. You're bringing in a lot of police officers.
Correct.
You're bringing in military, if I'm not mistaken
Yes,
myself.
I should say.
The question is, do you have information that we don't have
To justify it.
to justify what you're doing? And I understand you cannot just divulge all information, otherwise those
security,
that
right.
you're going to deal with when it comes to national security or whatever else it may be will get a tip off.
Right.
And I understand that. But you cannot just unilaterally make such a call. He said he made a call with the Council of Ministers. And my question is, what's the position of the Minister of Justice in this matter? Because he's the one that grants all these manifestation and public meetings permits. What is his? Now, again, I heard my leader speak on another interview, and I support his position of human rights. We have certain rights. You cannot just deny us these rights without a proper explanation. If you are doing one thing that doesn't jive with the other thing, then something in the middle is wrong or something is not being told to us. And I am not going to question the integrity of the Prime Minister, but I need him to explain the public a little better than telling me that I can go to the polls freely without fear and that I can't go to manifestations now because he can't guarantee that safety. That means that the threat level is quite high. Then I need to understand why we have a security guard standing in front of the door by Parliament building that has no clue who. Who's who? They don't know. The man is not armed.
Yeah.
So you're making a mockery out of the system, though. And I have an issue with that, a fundamental issue with that. Because remember, if we can express ourselves freely without the fear of repercussion, we're not living in a democracy. We're living in a police state or some other kind of state, but not a democracy. And when you curb our rights to express ourselves, we have a problem. Now, I wonder how far does this ruling go? So if I know our party is meeting at the community centers, a controlled environment, a small environment, 50 people, maybe 100, it doesn't carry more than that.
Yeah.
But if somebody wants to get you, they'll come there and get you. But if somebody wants to get you, they go by your house and get you.
Well,
So
yeah.
again,
You're
you're a public
public
figure.
Right.
And again, the question is the threat level this severe that we had to go so far? Because we went very far. Look, I understand for political parties that have intentions that they need rallies for. And they need to be at a polling station to make sure that all the goodies and the paperwork is regulated properly.
Right.
If that is what the problem is, then tackle the problem.
Yeah.
Tackle it, because we know who's doing it.
Yeah.
Don't pretend we know who's doing it. We can see it on the streets right now.
Sure do.
Look at the colors and you'll know what's going on. So let us not lie to each other. And then you get the hypocritical part. A bunch of them sitting and they're through crocodile tears, thought they were on a stage to get a little political mileage and talk about who this and who that. And now that the government pulls the trigger and says, well, we're going to make sure that the safety is upheld to a high level and we're going to do this, that, we're crying crocodile tears. And I'm saying, but hold on, man. Oh, you can't be serious. It is either you want this or you want that, but you can't have both. Can't have your cake and eat it. It doesn't work so.
But some of them has even cancelled their meetings because when the incident happened, a few meetings was cancelled.
Yes, but I think some of those were cancelled out of respect also for the...
But I want to say,
Oh.
it was cancelled because of security reasons.
Well, I don't think so.
So-
I honestly
so-
don't think it was... Listen, the incident, up until this day, I haven't heard the Prime Minister change his position that it was not a politically motivated shooting.
Right.
He did not change that. So, for us, it's a homicide. Somebody lost their life, but it was not political. Let's be clear on this.
Unless you have evidence to the contrary.
There's evidence to the contrary
Yeah.
that he has not brought out yet, but did make now a very harsh decision based on information he has. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to question the Prime Minister's integrity. I am sure this decision is based on discussions they are having with the Justice Royal. And they know what they're doing. But I need to say one thing, Mike, before I get away from this. Gun violence is not a new phenomenon in Simarton. A lot of people have lost their lives over the years to gun violence. If you read and listen to the news carefully, you would know that. But a politician being directly involved is a fairly new something for Dutch Simarton.
Yes.
But again, was he the target? Was this political? Those questions need to be answered before we continue down that road because we are sending a very dangerous message.
Yeah.
So, again, personally, I am not going to comment on what I think it is because that's what we have a judicial branch for. Let them solve this problem, come out, give the information to the public so at least we know where we stand and we know that we are safe. You know, there was a time when the gangs were shooting each other. The public prosecutor came out and said, don't worry, they're going to shoot none of you. They're shooting themselves. They're shooting each other. If we know more, maybe some information would be good to give. Or otherwise, what is this really all about with all these military and police coming in? What is it really all about?
What is it based on?
Yes, exactly.
Well, thanks for sharing your opinion on that situation because we know if anybody's going to say it clearly, it's going to be you.
I don't have to mince no words on
it's
certain
going
things.
to be you. I was looking at a campaign and talking to a lot of people out there, and you know, there's a lot of candidates with a lot of great ideas, stuff that definitely will benefit the country and stuff that the country needs. But you get an impression from the people out there is like, look, nice and well, thank you very much, but how are you going to put money in my pocket?
Yeah.
How are you going to put money in how are you going to make my life, finally, how are you going to make my life, a standard of living, better? There's so much thing. I need that to be fixed first before you come talk to me about your vanity projects or whatever else you have going on. How are we going to put money back in the people's pocket and deal with this insidious thing that we have here called poverty, which is very real. It's not a fantasy. It's very, very real. I want you to address this and tell us how we're going to fix this.
Mike, I think I have to address it from two angles.
Yes.
The angle of the government, what is the government going to do? And the angle of you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to eradicate poverty? Because the government can't do it alone. I want to be very clear on that. But remember, we love to speak about the sustainable development goals. The number one goal is eradicate poverty.
There you go.
But we don't do that. We're talking about other things. Down 7, 8, equal gender, equal this, equal... Eradicate poverty. Number one.
Yep.
Number two, make sure you got a job. Make sure you got a house. But we don't do that.
No.
Because it's not a low-hanging fruit.
That's right.
But let's look at this. What is poverty? Because we speak of poverty, but what is really poverty? Well, I can't buy a Mercedes, so I'm poor? No. The term poverty refers to the state of the condition in which people or a community lack the financial resources and other essentials for a minimum standard of living. And there again, that word standard of living is defined by the United Nations, it's defined by the World Bank, it's defined by the European Union. All of them have a position on what they define as poverty, because standard of living, the regular standard of the worst standard of living in the world is $1.90 per day for a family of four to live off. We can't afford that in Samaritan. That's just a joke. But 2/3 of the people that are poor in the world are farmers. Agriculture. And they're the poorest ones. That's why people don't want to do agriculture, because they say they make no money. But that's because we don't use technology to make money. But I'll get back to that. You see, we must also understand, if they cannot meet their basic human needs, then we got a problem. Because normally people who are poor don't have proper housing, they don't even have proper clean water, they don't have healthy food, and they don't have good medical attention. That's why they're in poverty. You know how many people go poor in America every year, or live in poverty every year, because they're not properly medically insured, and they spend all their money because they want to live. So they live in poverty. Now, these are things that when we look at them in Samaritan, we have to start asking ourselves, okay, how are we going to really deal with this, problem? Because poverty affects your economics directly. There is no ifs and buts about that.
Break that down for the people. Explain how that works.
When you are poor, it is associated directly with poor health, low skills of education, or any working skill, the inability or the unwillingness to work. I poor, so I don't want to work, I can rob. That's easier. High rates of disruptive or disorderly behavior and carelessness. I don't care. I'm poor. I don't care what happened to the country, because the country don't care about me. These are thoughts that can only destroy your economy and your livelihood. I'm going to rob every tourist. I'm going to beat them up. Those are the ones bringing money here. I'm going to shoot him. I'm going to this. That is what destroys your economy. And that is the basis of poverty. That they don't have skills to get a decent job, or we don't even offer decent jobs that pay, because we run a tourism-based economy. 54% of our working population, that's 11,000 plus families, earn minimum wage or less. Listen, we speak of a livable wage, Mike. And the livable wage, I heard the former Minister of VSR says 2,700. I believe we are closer to 3,550 guilders that the SER brought into reality. So they are short, in my opinion, about 800 guilders. But 2,700 versus 1,700 is 1,000 guilders difference. And my thing is this. So we want to give you a job for 2,700. So that would mean that the business gonna have to find 1,000 guilders or leave go somebody. Let's go with the second one. They're going to leave go somebody.
That's right.
They're not going to hire both of you all at 5,400 guilders together instead of 1,700, which would have been paying for 3 people. So one of the 3 going home. So when you go to work the next time, if you vote for those people that tell you, you're getting 2,700 guilders, look to your right and look to your left. One eye going home. One of the 3 going home, because the business cannot afford it. So you cannot come with that as a solution. You got to find other solutions. And I'm going to give you solutions that, in my opinion, Mike, can work. They truly can. Let me throw out a crazy one that people could say, boy, I never thought on that. What is one of the new ways of transportation? Electric vehicles. So what about if the government, through the trust fund, we're going to fix back our economy, going to buy 50 electric buses. I'm going to create an area where they charge, 2-3 areas where they can charge. That means I have solar panels. You can even put solar panels on the bus and ensure that while she's driving all day, she's charging all day. Mike, you take those 50 people and you can employ them as government workers. They then make a pension. They then have health care. They then have off days, because most of the bus drivers today don't have an off day. They drive 7 days a week to make ends meet. That's how bad it is. And then you flood the market with more plates, you only make it worse. Now they got to work 8 days per week.
Yeah.
And we know we don't have 8 days.
Yeah, right.
So we are putting them in poverty. We are pushing them in poverty because we don't help them get health insurance. We promise them all kind of things, but we don't get it for them. So now they are paying. And I just told you, one of the roads to poverty is having to pay for health insurance. It is a major, major problem.
Yeah.
Because in St. Martin, when you look at what's really causing, or what are some of the leading factors that put us in poverty, is the high cost of housing. So to build or to rent. Can't afford the GB bills because they are just simply too high because we are fossil fuel oriented and we don't want to go to alternative or green energy. You know, we don't have enough people being properly educated. So, listen, there was a little something done at the prison. They were checking the education level of the people in jail. And you're going to be surprised if I tell you that certain people only have primary school. They never went further. Some had only kindergarten, never see primary school. This is a problem.
Yeah.
This is a reflection of your society. And Mike, no disrespect meant to nobody. But if you don't have a high school degree, you ain't going no place in life. If you don't have a college degree or a university degree, you ain't going to make a decent living in St. Martin. Let us not fool ourselves. And this is the problem we have. It just ain't there.
I like that idea about the bus system because that also creates new routes.
Yes.
It's
The government, because you're working for the government,
Right.
I going to tell you, drive here,
Right.
drive there, drive there.
Exactly.
So I will
Okay, get the
force
salary.
in changing lanes.
Right.
Since nobody want to do it because of only independent drivers, then government should start putting drivers on payroll. They don't have to hustle and fight. They're being paid. And that way, they are insured and you slowly but surely you can work your way out of poverty.
Yeah.
You know, this is the way we have to see it. You know, I am not saying, oh, go and take away license. No. But we gotta structure it in such a way. We gotta start thinking out of the box in such a way that we can move forward. Something else that creates very often a major road to poverty is the way you deal with your solid and liquid waste. You have sewage water running all over the place. You have garbage thrown all over the place. These car wrecks all over the place. It creates an image as if it's okay to live like this.
Yeah.
And that is not true.
Yeah.
It is not okay to live like that. We have to, really see how we can go about this. One of the things that we have seriously to understand is that climate change is going to be the road to poverty for a lot of people because you can't afford the house insurance no more. Insurances are going up through the roof.
Yeah.
And we just went up with what, 10, 15% again? And understandable because refinancing or reinsuring, underwriting the insurances is becoming more expensive.
That's right.
Hurricanes are becoming stronger because of climate change.
Seas are rising, so the coastal areas are
So
suffering.
you're going to
and
lose
suffering even
beaches.
more. Yeah.
So again, as I did in a previous talk show, and I spoke about smart affordable homes. We need to use climate change funding to build better, build more economic but stronger, so resilient,
Right.
but also build smart. Use windows to maybe give you solar power. Use your roof, your walls to give you solar power because there is folio that you can wrap on
Yes.
it. And there are ways we can go about it. The problem is we seem hell-bent. When I say we, I'm talking about those that are supporting fossil fuel. I do not support fossil fuel.
Yeah.
Yes, we needed it. This emergency, I told them, it is diesel you're going to burn. Diesel went up yesterday, the day before yesterday, with 14.5 cents, about 7.5%. It increased. You know what 7.5% to increase
Yeah.
overnight? You drive and bus, your money just gone.
Yeah.
Your profit just left. These are things that we seem not to understand or comprehend or want to comprehend. We cannot remain, and I hear a lot of people that say, yeah, but it's Sol. No, Sol is not a refinery. They are not Lago, they are not Shell. They are not going to do for St. Martin what Lago and Shell did for Aruba and Curacao. No. It's not going to happen. Let's not fool ourselves. But maybe they can be more proactive and they can invest. I can recall about a year and a half ago, Sol made a presentation to the government of St. Martin, the former government, and said, I would like to put 35 megawatt of solar power in the pond. Sol did that. up until today, nobody touching it. Why? You're all screaming Sol is a monster. But Sol is offering it here, and you're not doing a damn thing about it. That's hypocrisy or stupidity. Yeah. You can choose whichever word you feel is best. That too. You see, so, look, when you look at the root of poverty in Samaritan, it is things are too expensive. Yeah. Very simply put, things are too expensive.
Is there any quick wins to this?
A few. A few. Look. You must understand that poverty brings hunger. Yes. Poverty brings homelessness. You know, children and teens are my concern. Yeah. Old people are my concern because they can't fend for themselves like me and you and Ron. She can't. We are working. We can do more things. Yeah. Somebody at 60, 65, 70, 80 years, they can't. A child at 10 years, 12 years, they can't. You know, so how do you deal with that? Because that also has a very big impact on stress levels among that group. These are things that lead to suicide, and all kind of stresses and all kind of sicknesses and bad health, etc., etc. Right. So there is a lot that comes to play with poverty that we don't daily see or have to deal with other than a psychologist or a psychiatrist or the medical center. Yeah. We don't see it until it hits home. Gun violence was never an issue until they shoot at a politician. Now everybody concerned for safety. But what happened 6 months ago when they were gunning them down? You see, this is the problem in this country. As long as they don't hit home, nobody cares. It hit home by me in 2011 when they tried to cut my wife asunder. Yeah. Because an idiot in the newspaper was writing that we had $2.3 million put away someplace. Yeah. You see, and this is why people get nervous. Because names are being called and people get nervous for safety. But again, you don't have to wait till you are poor to start bawling about poverty. We're in a position that we are not poor. Not all of us are scrambling daily for food and for this and for that. Not everybody is hustling. And in my opinion, nobody should ever have to experience it in Samaritan. We are not a country where we should have people living in poverty. Right. We are not that type of country. I understand there are countries in the world that are like that, but we are not one of them, and we shouldn't promote it as one of, oh boy, we got a lot of poverty. No, because we are not doing nothing about it. That's a different story. That's where, like I told you just now, it's a two-way street. What can government do and what can you do as human being or when it comes to dealing with poverty in reality? Look, there are a lot of studies that have showed in America that are, in my opinion, very, very relevant to the Caribbean and here at home itself. Children experiencing homelessness frequently need to worry about where they will live next. Yeah. Where's the next place they're going? What about my pets? What about my belongings? Other family members? Are they going to be living with me? Am I going to be molested? You know, they have a lot of things that are on their mind. Homeless children are very likely to have no adequate access to health care. So you just jumping around as if you don't cover teeth, no glasses. So these children are the last on that ladder too, because they don't even have decent health care. More or less now taking care of their teeth. So before they're 20, they might be toothless. Yeah. And these, you know, no matter how strange it might sound, it is such a reality that we have to really deal with, Mike. You know, and it hurts my heart when I look around and see how people think. And yeah, that's my thing, man, because it ain't reached my family. Yeah. But every family can be struck tomorrow by an illness where they pump all their money, they sell their house, their cars, whatever the hell they own, to make sure that their mother, their father, their child don't die. And they end up in poverty after that. You know, so again, I say, we got to be careful how we really, you know, deal with these things, because children that are hungry don't do well in school. And I just spoke of one of the reasons of poverty is the poor educational results for a lot of young men and even women nowadays. You know, there are more things that the study showed when it comes to sexual and physical victimization, bullying. You know, you're the odd one out.
Yeah.
You know, oh, he got a house to live in. You know how little children could tease, eh? They tell the truth.
Yeah,
A drunk and a child tell you the truth without any remorse. You know, look, the odds for kids that they fall into the wrong company and do the wrong thing and get addicted to alcohol or drugs, physically abused, is much more bigger because of the situation they find themselves in because of poverty.
Now you said we don't really have to, and I agree with you about St. Martin. We should not have these. On the 16 square mile island, we should not have these kind of poverty issues. So, having said that, and with the reality that we have now, what would be step one? Like, say you're elected MP, or when you're elected MP again, what would be step one in tackling this issue? Because people just
they need to be able to afford to live.
Okay.
And to afford to live, you're going to have to do a few things.
Right.
Will this be a 1 month solution?
No.
Absolutely not. Don't need nobody fool you. When I get in, you go, when you get in, you're going to do Dudley squat unless you got a printer in your back room printing money. Other than that, it's not going to happen.
No.
But there are a few things that you need in your life to get someplace. We can, as country, say, everybody is going to be medically insured. I'm not going to give you first class service. I'm going to give you second class rooms at the hospital, or maybe even third. 4 of us sleep in a room or 6 of us sleep in a room. But you're going to have a room to sleep in. You don't have to be outside in the bush because you can't afford it. No. We're going to find. We don't need to take all generic, real medicine. We could take the generic medicine.
Name brand medicine.
Name brand, yeah. You know, we can do those things. We have to look at it. Education. We cannot just accept, oh, a boy or a girl do this, throw them out of school, knowing there's no place for them to go. We got to teach them a skill. We got to give them a proper basis. Because if we don't give it to them, they will become a society's problem eventually. Putting a man in jail or a woman in jail for 300 guilders a day is insane. Yeah. That is 9,000 guilders. That's 5 minimum wages. I am paying to keep a man up there or a woman up there. Think about it. We gotta put bracelets on these people that didn't do no. Look, a murderer, I understand. Yeah. He needs to rehabilitate or she needs to rehabilitate. But we got a bunch of fellas up there that they ain't really do no vicious crimes. Yeah, they were smoking weed or they carry too much of weed on them. Look, a fella got an ounce on him. Oh, he must be distributed. Man, he need to smoke that ounce maybe in 2 days if you give him a chance. Exactly. You know? But the problem is he smoke weed profit then, so that's a different story. But what I'm saying is education is a solution to poverty. We cannot take that away. The NOW has the education ministry right now, so you have to look at how can you genuinely make a difference. Who do you give scholarships to? Why are the scholarships not being given to more NEPA students, more University of St. Martin students? Give them a good base. You know, we got to take care of our own. Just like how I spoke about it in infrastructure, and I'll talk about it just now. Again, we got to do better. Healthcare, like I just told you, I seriously believe healthcare is one of the most important solutions to poverty. Let people be taken care of. We got to understand this. People need access to food. People need access to clothing. Now, we're in election time, so you know, within the next week or two, school starting. Oh, yeah. Free haircuts, free backpack.
School bags, yeah.
But nobody gonna say, let me give you a free breakfast for the next 6 months.
True.
Because that ain't gonna impact after the 19th, they don't care. Yeah. The pretentious, the hypocrisy is there. But do it year round. We're going to get to what can you do. Because not what government can do or what a politician can do, because that's not the solution alone. Right. I agree with every politician that will give them a haircut and give them a bag, but please, don't do that to create an image that you're not. Because that's not who you are. Yeah. If there was no election, you wasn't giving them nothing in August now. Yeah. You know, we got to be honest. This is the hypocrisy in this line of business. But let's be honest. People need a good paying job. So we have to create that market. Tourism is the foundation. You know, the blocks that are there already. Those got to become stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. It means we got to create something else that pays a little better. I have said it before and I will say it again. Infrastructure, construction is the way to go. Go in America, go in the other Caribbean islands. Construction runs the economies.
It's actually, in the States, for example,
But-
it's constant
But
construction.
because
it never stops.
it pays good wages. And here in St. Martin, building costs is already very expensive. But where's the money?
Yeah.
And now we have an institution here giving away millions to foreign companies to come and build. I am saying, but we are not serious. We seem to be promoting poverty. Because if we are willing to give all this money to a foreign company with foreign workers, then we really want to keep our own people
Poor.
in poverty. And I'm saying, no, as a government, you got to block this. You got to create jobs that pay. Jobs that pay are in the solar business, in the green energy, in the waste energy. Those jobs are going to pay much more than serving somebody a drink
Yeah.
or picking up garbage or sweeping the beach.
I was trying to explain the amount of, like say, a waste energy plant, for example.
Yeah.
The amount of employment such a plant creates.
Not
You know what I
only-
mean? Just not at the plant, but for transporting.
Exactly.
and
Exactly. And this is what people
compiling and-
don't understand.
Crazy.
There's a lot
Hundreds of
more.
jobs.
There's a lot more than comes with a waste energy plant, because remember, you're also producing electricity. So you need people that are in that field.
That's right.
You need people that handle machinery.
Correct.
I'm not telling you that's the solution for Samantha and everybody gonna have a job. No, absolutely not. But at least 100 people will have a good paying job
That's right.
after the plant has been built. And as you expand and you go into different fields, because remember, you're making waste now, but you can also add on another burner, another incinerator, and start making water.
Yeah, that's right.
You can make water. You can even make cold air and put freezers that people don't need reavers. They can go and rent some space there.
Yeah.
And you're guaranteeing electricity because you yourself making it.
That's right.
You see, there are so many things we can do, Mike. But like I said, you know, you need to invest as government into smart homes, affordable homes that people can buy them. And if you use the climate fund, you open the door that people with lower income and maybe even through a micro loan where the state, the country, St. Martin, will guarantee, not the way they're doing it right now, that nobody can get a loan.
Yeah.
25 million was made available and nobody could get loans. Everybody, you know?
You can't qualify.
Exactly. It's just like the tender procurement by the NRPB.
NRPB.
Nobody can qualify local.
Yeah.
Locals, one or two people can qualify, the rest can't qualify. You know, and that's what you don't want. It needs to be so that people that don't have collateral, people that don't have access to banks, can get a loan.
We don't need to
And-
look far. Some of our Caribbean neighbors are doing it all the time.
You know,
Dominica, for example.
Yeah. Again, like I said, we need to do these things. We need to look at the at the agriculture business. We need to put technology to work in there. And we talk about food sustainability, but we don't do it. But make agriculture a sustainable market, and people can work. They will make a decent living because you pay right now what, $3 an avocado?
Yeah. Just
So get a few trees out. You can make a few $3.
Yeah.
Just think outside the box.
You mentioned how what we, us as individual citizens can do
Yes.
for ourselves in collaboration with the government. I don't know
Yes.
if collaboration is the right word, but you know what I mean. What can the people do to help themselves?
The first thing, join an organization that helps people in need to fulfill those needs. You don't have to be in the Lions Club or the Rotary. You can be in a church group. You can be with the Salvation Army. You can be with Vegan Foods. Help. Reach out. You have spare things in your house. Donate them. Don't throw them in the garbage. Donate them.
What about those people, Tone, who are so dirt poor? I'm sorry to if those words are strong. They're just preoccupied. They don't want to join the groups. They're preoccupied with getting a loaf of bread and milk tomorrow.
Yes.
I mean, how,
But those are the ones that
Those
I'm
are
talking about. We
people-
gotta help. But you, me, Ranchi, we can donate 2 hours a week.
Yes, yes.
We can donate $10 maybe
Yeah.
every month.
Yeah.
Imagine you have 5,000 people donating $10 a month. I mean, that's $50,000 that organizations can use to buy food in bulk.
True.
You have clothing. You know, you grow the clothes too small, donate them.
A lot of church,
You know,
every church will take it.
exactly. And there are people that listen, I'm not dressing you to go to a wedding,
Right.
but I'm going to donate money. I'm going to donate food, clothing. You know, listen, make people feel like they're people. Kindness goes a very, very long way. Just, you know, be your brothers and sisters keeper. We preach it, we say it, we go to church, hallelujah, this. But do we really do it for the person? Because when you see the boy walking the street and he's hungry, nobody's stopping to give him a plate of food.
No.
Oh, not me, but that's a bomb. He must be this, he must be that. Thank you to a person like Nurse Nanny. They used to stop, give them a shower, trim them, shave them, give them a meal. And yes, you can't help everybody because some of them have mental issues.
Right.
And we just don't have the locations to put them up. Thank God now the mental health is reaching someplace,
Right.
and they're going to build a place to help these people. But Mike, our country got a lot of problems. But we have to start also looking at, okay, how do we deal with who's here? Because we have people that come from other countries here because we extend the helping hand. But you can't extend the helping hand to the Caribbean if you can't help your own. These are things, you know, you got to make your voice be heard. We got to come out, stand up, tell government, I want you to put priority here. I don't need all the fanfare. Cut travel if travel needs to be cut. But let's do something to help the human being. Because the human being seems not to be our number one priority. We speak about it, but it's not really, hey, that's our number one. A safety net. Create a safety net for children and families that automatically they can be picked up by the state, by the country. You know, Samaritan, we used to have a safety net that was ran out of South Reward where people that had a handicap or anything would get jobs and they could work, they can be somebody. But today we have to make that net a little bigger because we have so many people that don't have a job, need a skill to get a job, have an addiction, need help to get a job. Because once you have a police record, you get no job, you know. Not in Samaritan. And we keep locking them up. It is more important to build a $42 million jail than it is to build a school. And then you have to ask yourself, which kind of banana you eat to be thinking so stupid that a prison is more important than a school. We got what? 5 schools still not done?
Just about.
But we pushing to build a jail. And I'm saying, okay, where are we going? Have we changed our moral compass this much that it is more important to put a jail than to build a school? Because that's the message that was sent the last 4 years. You gotta lock them up. You gotta lock them up. Now what about educate them? The time for lock up coming too. Because that's the way you're thinking. You're creating a very vicious. You're creating a very vicious circle. Yeah. And we got to be careful with these type of things, you know. And I'm saying, I don't know. Maybe the government has to say, okay, how do I make people feel a little better about worrying about where the next sandwich coming from, where the next meal coming from? Do I put a national breakfast program or lunch program in place at schools, primary and secondary? Do I help fund some soup kitchens for now until people can find a job and get out of this vicious cycle of poverty? And, you know, try to make, because I said it's not going to be a one-day situation. It's going to take a little while.
SDG 1, the eradication of poverty.
Yes.
Is it truly and realistically attainable? Can we truly and realistically totally eradicate poverty in this country? And what would that, what is an eradication of poverty? What does that look like?
Eradication of poverty means that we are all equal for financial strength. At least we can meet our standard of living. You can raise the standard of living or you could drop it. And then everybody tomorrow is not poor anymore.
Does it mean people having disposable income?
Yes, yes, it must. Because the standard of living is what you said. And that's why you said you have different standard of livings. The United Nations has one, the World Bank has one, and the European Union has one. You have to look at French side, Dutch side, just look at the social welfare system of their on the French side and ours on the Dutch side. You'll get a little idea of where we stand for standard of living.
Right.
Look at the social homes on the French side. Look at the quality of the homes on the French side versus the quality of the homes on the Dutch side. Just in that, it gives you an idea that to think on, oh, wait. Are we doing it right or wrong?
Right.
So there are a lot of questions
Right.
that we need to ask. I think, Mike, to be honest with you, can we get out of poverty? Yes, I do believe so. I sincerely believe so. The SDG, we are not one of the poorest countries in the world.
No.
We don't have people earning $30 a
Yeah.
day or $1.90 a day or $15 a day. No, I think we're a little better than that with our minimum wage. You know, we earn what? It's now about 10 guilders, it's 80 guilders, $45. So we're a little above the 85% of the world at $30 qua poverty.
Yeah.
We are a little above that. But Mike, our standard of living is high
Yeah.
because the cost of living
Is high.
is so high.
Correct.
And that's where we have to now find a few of those factors, which is housing, so let's make it affordable. Health, let's make it government operated and ran. And energy.
Energy. Yeah.
We gotta go to green energy.
That's
the
it.
sun is for free, the wind is for free, and we are not using what's God given to us for free.
Yeah.
And I'm sure when there's no more wind, no more sun, then we want to do it.
I've always said that if you simply eliminate that fuel class, for example, you would improve people's standard of living overnight.
You know, I heard a politician talk about it. Yeah, we should eliminate it, and we should put it on pause, and we should check this, and I'm saying to myself, wait a minute. Something is not adding up. This politician was a minister. This politician was involved in taking the 30 million of the GB. This politician knew what the fuel clause was built up then. He knew of the throughput fees then. Why didn't it stop? Because then you were in government that was good for you.
That's right.
So I don't understand why we do this. I have spoken out about fuel clause. I gave a breakdown on what is publicly known and how it was done. There are a lot of things in the fuel clause that might not belong in there. Turnover tax, we all know it's there.
Yeah.
It's there twice, not once. It's there by the wholesaler and then by the retailer.
Correct.
So what are we balling for? You know, the Minister of Finance was there in 2017 too. Well, what are we talking about? You know, I don't like that because that's not the solution. You are part of the problem. You are part of the problem because you were in a function that could have stopped it. You didn't. You opted not to then. To come now and talk about it, it's nice, but it ain't real.
That the candidate who have an alien, they talk about aliens a bad deal. Anyway, that's a different topic. That thing riles me. That thing grinds my gears, but I can't tell you how much. I'll get to that point at a different time. We have 2 minutes before we go to top of that. 3 o'clock. In case you're just joining us, so we're in a great discussion with MP. It's a force of habit. Sorry, MP Claudius Belcampo.
And then it's going to be a reality after the 19th.
Exactly. So he is always with us every single Thursday. Next week Thursday we're also going to have a different topic we're going to focus on. But MP, now at this point in the campaign, you know, I always have to ask you, you're walking. You know, you're getting back to the bunks. You're walking. What are you doing?
I have decided to reach out to everybody personally.
Okay.
That has panned out well for me. People are listening to my shows. Last week I had 11,000 plus views on this show.
On this one, yes.
And the other ones were 9,000, 10,000. And the reason is, Mike, when you bring a message of hope. But the hope must be realistic.
That's it.
Don't just blow smoke because it is for free. I am saying show people that they are capable people with an ability and an experience and knowledge to make a serious change in this country.
Right.
I am one of those people. The Now Party has a nice balanced list of professionals from top to bottom. We don't all see things the same way, but that's a healthy thing. We don't all say the same thing, but that's a good thing. Otherwise, we only had copycats.
Correct.
I think we all, I mean, Ranchi is sitting here, and I saw Ranchi has picked up a nice thing on how seniors are living and how we enhance the living. And this is something that was very close to my heart, seniors. So there are other people selling the message. So I'm happy. I will now focus on one or two other things to ensure the platform, the manifesto of the Now
right.
is covered and covered properly. I think people are looking for a change. People are looking for a new direction, and we are that new direction. That's why the party's name is Now, right? Now. Not yesterday, but now. Because if you don't fix now, there is no tomorrow. And I hear some parties say, oh, we think 20, 30 years ahead. I'm thinking about today. I gotta make sure people are fed today, not 20, 30 years from now, but today. You see, we gotta be real with ourselves. It is nice to speak of sustainable this and sustainable that when you can't sustain it now, think of sustain tomorrow.
Sure.
Yes, any program you put together must have longevity,
Of course.
but it must be workable now. And I think we lose that too often in our context. We speak, yeah, we can do the low-hanging fruits, but low-hanging fruits is 6 months from now. No, you need a low. And like I said, you know, one of the things is how do you deal with people now? How do you help them out of poverty now? You're going to have to do some state funding. You're going to have, the country's going to have to take out some money and say, okay, listen, I'm going to help you all, and we're going to help you maybe like how we said in our social plan. We are going to subsidize an X amount of things. We said it last time. I didn't want to bring it up today because I didn't want to murky the poverty issue.
Yeah.
But we spoke about doing certain taxations. I mean, Mike, I think it's 11 or it's 14 billion. Billion dollars. Yeah, with a B, not M. $1 billion go through our banks. Not touched. You put 0.5% taxation. Just 0.5% taxation. I think you run around 140 million guilders. That's a third of our budget nearly. Just imagine you're going to use that money to do a few things. Eradicate poverty. Build social homes. Build back your society. Fix your infrastructure. This is every year you get in that money.
Yeah.
Bro, in 10 years you got 1.4 billion guilders. Your national debt is wiped out. But we don't think so. Because we want to fight to tax the senior. No! We'll take the money. Put them in that vicious cycle because the NA's thought is the vicious cycle of poverty.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, I can't give you 4 more years. Because by then, everybody going to be dead. We are going to have starved. Because you are not working for the people. You're working against the people. And these are the things that might sound difficult to say, but I have no scruple saying what I believe the reality of the country is.
Well, thank you very much for being here. You'll be here again next week Thursday.
I think the time is 1 o'clock then. In
August
August I go to 1 o'clock.
Yes, in August you go to 1 o'clock.
Today was my last 2 o'clock.
Let's go to the 2 o'clock. Yeah.
Today was my last 2 o'clock show, so next week is going to be a 1 o'clock event.
1 o'clock right here with the Claudius Bomcamper. Number 2 on the Nation Opportunity Wealth Party, the Yellow Party, also the deputy leader of the party. He's going to be up and down doing his things. He all, Tonto is very approachable with anything.
Yeah.
Whenever you see him, go to him. If you need an explanation about anything he said, go to him or message him via social media. Also very active there.
I have a phone too that I don't change my number after election or before election. I answer everybody. I call you. If I don't answer you, I'll call you later. 520-1188. That's my number. You call me. I have the knowledge, I have the ability, I have the expertise to give you a proper answer, not a wishy-washy one.
Yeah, keep it locked to 88.3 FM, folks. Thank you so very much for listening. Have yourselves a great day.
Give them your trust, give them your trust, give them your trust.